So, it's been a while. I'm not really going to explain why. I don't think anyone would really care, but yeah, it's been a while. So, I suppose, sort of influenced, or I guess you could say inspired by some of Sargon of Akkad's content, I'm just going to read an article and record myself reading it because I found this insanity on the Cosmopolitan and thought it was interesting and stupid and ridiculous, just in keeping with the general theme of things right now, I suppose. And speaking of in keeping with themes, in keeping with the theme that everything that goes wrong in the world and everything that we perceive is wrong with the world is a man's fault, why guys get turned on when you orgasm, and why that's a bad thing. Notice a theme with a lot of these titles. Why more men go into STEM fields and why that's a bad thing. Why more women are teachers and why that's a bad thing. Why the patriarchy created the West and why that's a bad thing. Just sort of having these nominal statements, or just stating the obvious, or talking about maybe even a good thing and then just adding the why that's a bad thing suffix to the end of it. And everyone goes, oh, well. Well, if the Cosmopolitan says it's a bad thing, of course it is. So there we go. Of course you guys managed to make... Of course guys managed to make your orgasms about themselves. Oh, here we go. Hannah Smothers. I don't like you. It's not enough that men are already having more orgasms than women, and I'll put a link to this in the description below. That one right there. Because, oh, it's a read too. A waste of time and a totally non-issue, but hey, it shows kind of where the Cosmopolitan's at right now. Guys are already having more orgasms than women. To make matters worse, a new study published by the Journal of Sex Research, because of course that's a thing, found, aside from deriving pleasure from their own orgasms, obviously men like orgasms, ugh, pigs, men also derive a specific sort of masculine pleasure from making female partners orgasm. Oh, what monsters! This is not a problem. This is not an issue. Why are you making it one? The researchers in the study, Sarah Chadwick and Sari van Andres, refer to this incredible predictable phenomenon as the masculinity achievement. I'm not exactly sure what that means, neither am I. Speaking of myself. But I imagine masculinity achievement looks something like the Super Mario punching a coin from out of one of those floating boxes in the video game. I don't get it. I don't get it. What does that mean? What is that simile about? Is it because he's punching it and getting something out of it, so he's attaining his goal through violence, so you think this is a masculine achievement and therefore part of the patriarchy? I don't understand. Why is it like Super Mario getting a coin out of a block? Where did you pull that one? What deep dark crevice did you pull that one out of? Oh well. Continuing after that, the study gathered 810 men to waste their own time, or to read a story where they had to imagine an attractive woman either did or did not orgasm during sex with them. Each man was asked to rate their sexual esteem and the extent to which they'd feel masculine after experiencing the scenario. The results were what you'd expect. Men feel more fulfilled when they've made their partner orgasm. Yes, that is what I'd expect. See, this is the thing, that they come up with this completely obvious statement and then add the suffix why that's a bad thing. Why is this a bad thing? Oh, I can't wait to have them explain it to me. Men felt more masculine and felt high self-esteem when they imagined a woman orgasm during sex with them. These results suggest that women's orgasm do function, at least in part, as a masculinity achievement for men. Okay. Does the male orgasms operate as a feminine achievement for women? Probably does, right? Each person likes making their partner feel good. That's probably part of a healthy relationship. This is such a non-issue. Let's be clear. Oh, here we go. Here's the part of the article they always have right in the middle. They're their median part where they have to come out and say, look, I'm not insane. I'm just going to destroy my own argument by being totally sane and sound of mind for one paragraph, and then we're going to go back to the rest of this insanity. But let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about making your partner feel good. Of course there isn't. Why do you have to say that? Oh yes, because you recognize how ridiculous you sound. In this case, orgasm. Yeah. It's nice to bring pleasure to your partner. Yeah. But the researchers point out a sexist flaw in the masculinity boost thing. Oh, here we go. Back to the insanity. It's like, I thought you liked that, didn't you? You enjoyed that little part. You liked it when I was reasonable. Okay, well, here's what the sex journals have to say. Despite increasing focus on women's orgasms, research indicated that the increased attention on women's orgasms may also serve men's sexuality. Oh, couldn't possibly do that. Complicating conceptualizations of women's orgasms as woman-centric. Okay, so men like giving women orgasms, and this complicates the woman's ownership of it? I don't know. Let's see if the feminists can explain it to us. In a separate statement from the Chadwick and Van Anders, why they explain why it's a bad thing for men to gain masculinity points for bringing female partners to orgasm. One reason is that it might pressure some heterosexual men, aka the devil, to feel like they have to give women orgasms. And if orgasm is something men pulled out of a hat and presented it to women, oh, this ties into cultural ideas of women passive recipients of whatever men give them. Okay. Recipients, sorry. Okay, so we're back to society being the problem here and cultural, whatever, social constructs. Oh, maybe men just like making women feel good. Maybe this isn't a problem, as I said from the beginning. They also mention another sexist orgasm trope. Here we go. Women feeling pressured into fake orgasms in order to appease a male partner. In their words, to protect men's feelings. For women who have sex with male partners, the pressure to orgasm is relatable feeling. Hence, all the faking that we know is going on. We know it's happening. In hetero bedrooms all over the country. I bet a lesbian wrote this. Hear that, Hannah? I'm presuming. I'm presuming about you. Yeah, I think this is the same thing that I'm going to link below, the same women faking orgasms, rubbish. Oh, no, it's a different one. All right, well, no, it's easy. I won't even bother linking that. It's so small. Just read that. Pause the video and read it if you want it. It's rubbish. Don't even bother. The researchers draw a fairly frightening conclusion from the research findings. When women's orgasms begin to serve as a masculinity achievement for male partners, the orgasm ceases to be about women's liberation or sexual pleasure. They just become another opportunity for men to flex or shore up their sense of masculinity. I'm just going to read the last paragraph before I get my thoughts. These men, therefore, were more likely to view women's... This is from the journal. These men were therefore more likely to view women's orgasms as a notch on their bedpost of their manliness, Chadwick and Van Anders wrote in the statement. They end their note with an encouragement for men to think of orgasms less as an achievement to be unlocked and truly view them for what they are, the little pleasure explosions that should be enjoyed frequently. Interesting inclusion by female partners. Well, Hannah, Okay, I know I've gone off on this a lot and probably think, oh, this is mainstream publications falling apart. Now, this is the Cosmopolitan. I mean, if we look at their, if we take a look at their homepage, what we got? We got damn things that piss me off about Starbucks. 7 women and what they like to propose. This isn't serious. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the mainstream publications are starting to sound this ridiculous as well, but they're not this bad. This is the Cosmopolitan. This is just gossip, really. And even then, Hannah Smothers, the sex and relationships editor at the Cosmopolitan, not very serious. Even by the Cosmopolitan's standards, this is not very serious. This is just a silly kind of. I don't doubt that she's 100% serious about this, and the fact that there's a study from the Journal of Sex Research. The fact that there's a study about this proves that there is some. I mean, obviously, we all knew that this was being taken seriously. I suppose it shouldn't be, but it is. I mean, the world is falling apart, really. I suppose you could say it like that. The Middle East is in turmoil. The European Union is dissolving.
Das ist gut so.
America is split right down the middle in politics, and it seems like there's going to be a race war developing there. I don't know. People are calling for it. And this is just. You can see this as part of it, just especially that last part they included there. Frequently. Have sex frequently with your partner. Not married, of course, because patriarchal blah 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 oppression. These are. I mean, this woman is just a I don't know, a jokester or prankster. I'm not sure how much of this is she's serious about, but I can imagine she's actually probably being quite sincere about this. And I don't know. Just seems to be another pang of insanity. I mean, I hear the what was his name? The Russian man, Yuri. Deception was my job. Hold on, I'll look that up real quick. I'm not being very professional about this, I suppose you could say, but I'm not a big YouTuber, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter how professional I am. Maybe I'll cut this out. Maybe I won't. Deception was my job. Might even forget what I was actually planning to tell you. Yeah, Yuri Bezanov. Sorry. Yeah, I've heard his theories that this is a communist kind of cultural disillusion, or what did he call it? Some kind of espionage, but was constructionism, sort of Marxist constructionism. I hear that it's also just kind of female nature, that we're now living in a matriarchy, and women of the West have just become too spoiled, and they're not good at being leaders. I've also heard that this is just what happens when a society gets far too, what's the word, derelict? When it gets far too comfortable, just lapses into sex and gender and all this nonsense, and then it's wiped out. It falls apart. It's unsustainable, or another force like Islam comes in and takes over, as they're strong and we're weak. I don't know. I've heard all the theories. I don't know why this is happening. I couldn't really give a concrete opinion myself, but it's happening. It's real. and it's serious. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll do another video on maybe some of the things that I think could be happening, some of the reasons this is happening. Maybe what could really help is a revival. And what I mean by revival, well, maybe I'll talk about that later. Anyway, nice to talk to you. The world is burning, but, keep on going. See you later.